Commander Zixrath of the Virillion Collective had seen 1,000 species kneel before his fleet. The sleek obsidian cruisers of his armada had conquered 73 star systems in the past decade alone. Today would be no different, or so he thought. The human vessel hung in space like a wounded animal, its hull scarred and pitted from what appeared to be centuries of battle. Zixrath's tri-lobed brain processed the visual data with growing contempt. The ship was primitive, almost laughably so. Where Virillion vessels gleamed with energy shielding and quantum armor, this human construct was little more than metal plates welded together, bristling with what appeared to be crude chemical propulsion systems. "Scan complete, Commander," his tactical officer announced, mandibles clicking with amusement. The vessel's designation translates to UNSC Indomitable. Power readings are minimal. Their weapons appear to be kinetic-based projectiles. No plasma conduits detected. No antimatter cores. "They're using fusion reactors, Commander." "Fusion!" The bridge erupted in chittering laughter. Fusion power was what children's toys ran on in Virillion space. "Hail them!" Zixrath ordered, settling back into his command throne. "Let's offer these primitives a chance to surrender before we claim their system." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a human female in a crisp military uniform. Her face was weathered, eyes cold and calculating. She spoke without preamble. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Nations Space Command. You are in violation of human territorial space. Withdraw immediately or face consequences." Zixrath's laughter boomed through the bridge. "Consequences? Captain Chen, our scans show your vessel is outmatched in every conceivable metric. We possess weapons that can atomize planets. Your ship appears to be held together by rivets and desperation." Captain Chen's expression didn't change. "Did your scans tell you why this ship is called Indomitable? Enlighten me." "Because she survived 247 engagements without a single retreat. But more importantly," Chen leaned forward, and for the first time Zixrath noticed something unsettling in her eyes. "Did your scans tell you what those crude kinetic weapons are firing?" Zixrath gestured dismissively. "Metal slugs accelerated by chemical explosions. Stone Age technology." "Depleted uranium rods," Chen corrected. "Accelerated to 0.3% light speed by magnetic rails. Each rod mass is 2 tons. At that velocity, they carry more kinetic energy than your antimatter torpedoes, and we carry 3,000 of them." The bridge fell silent. "But that's not the error you made," Chen continued, her voice deadly calm. "Your scans detected our fusion reactors. What they didn't detect was what we're fusing. See, Commander, humans discovered something interesting about warfare. The simpler the weapon, the harder it is to defend against. Your quantum shields are designed to deflect energy weapons and disperse antimatter. They're useless against a 2-ton slug of uranium traveling at relativistic speeds." Zixrath felt his confidence waver. "1 ship against 30. Your scans also missed our missile pods," Chen interrupted. "Each housing 50 nuclear-tipped hunter-killers. Not the clean fusion warheads you're familiar with. Old-fashioned fission bombs wrapped in cobalt. Dirty. Radioactive. The kind that turned ships into dead zones for decades." "This is a bluff," Zixrath hissed, but his claws were gripping the armrests. "Is it? Let me tell you what else your scans missed, Commander. They missed the fact that this ship's crew has been rotating through combat zones for 8 years straight. They missed that every single person on this vessel has watched friends die, has patched hull breaches with their bare hands, has learned to fight when the odds were impossible. Your crews are drafted from peaceful worlds. Mine volunteered from Earth, a planet where we spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of killing each other." Captain Chen stood, and behind her, Zixrath could see the bridge of the Indomitable. Unlike his pristine command center, theirs was cramped, dimly lit, covered in handwritten notes and welded repairs. It looked like hell. It looked lived in. It looked dangerous. "You scanned our ship and saw primitive technology," Chen said. "We scan ships and assess the crew. Your people have been at peace for 3 generations before you started conquering. Your warriors are politicians in uniforms. Mine," she smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression, "mine are descended from Marines, from soldiers who stormed beaches under machine gun fire, who fought in jungles and deserts and frozen wastelands for causes they barely understood. War isn't something we do, Commander. It's something we are." "You're outnumbered 30-1, Zixrath said, his voice losing its authority. 30-1, Chen repeated. "You know what we call those odds, Commander? We call that a target-rich environment. The Indomitable's weapons ports suddenly blazed with light. Warning klaxons screamed across the Virillian fleet as magnetic rails charged with power that made their sensors scream. "Last chance, Commander," Chen said softly. "Withdraw or learn why humans put a skull and crossbones on their battle flag. Your choice. You have 60 seconds. Sixrath stared at the scarred, battered human warship, really seeing it for the first time. Every dent was a battle survived. Every weld was a lesson learned. Every scratch was a story of defiance against extinction. This wasn't a primitive vessel. It was a weapon forged in the crucible of a species that had clawed its way to the stars through sheer, bloody-minded stubbornness. "Retreat," he whispered. "Commander?" his tactical officer asked, confused. "I said retreat," Sixrath roared. "All ships withdraw immediately." As the Virillian fleet turned and jumped to hyperspace, Sixrath watched the Indomitable growing smaller on his view screen. The last thing he saw was Captain Chen, still standing on her bridge, arms crossed, watching them run. He had scanned their ship and found it wanting. But he had failed to scan what truly mattered: the indomitable human spirit that refused to yield, even when logic demanded surrender. It was an error he would never make again.